Hi, everybody. I'm Jeremiah Plaska with Byteworks. Byteworks is an IT infrastructure consulting firm located in the Atlanta, Georgia area. We specialize in data center, enterprise networking, cybersecurity, and collaboration technologies. Today, I'm going to be speaking about Cisco's unified communications platform, also known as their collaboration portfolio. We're going to be talking about what's new in the second quarter of 21. Now, there's a lot of content to cover, so I'm going to try to go through this pretty quickly. So without further ado, let me share my screen out. We'll get started. So, first thing I want to just state is that I will be covering items that are forward-looking. Most of the items that I'm going to be speaking to are already released. However, there are some items that have not yet been released, and they may never come to pass. That's why I have the safe harbor statement in here just in case. Now, we learned in the last year with COVID-19 and the turmoil that has been the past year that remote work is possible and it can be productive, that work from home solutions were never meant to be 100%. We need more connected digital customer experiences. And looking forward, we have to continue to reimagine both the employee and customer experiences that we want to have with collaboration technologies. And the future of work is hybrid. And truly what that means is that you want to make sure that your collaboration technologies are seamless between working from home and in the office, working remote, and then getting back to the office. You want it to be frictionless as you go between those sorts of work environments. Now, this presentation that I'm going to go over is broken into 4 categories, if you will: seamless collaboration, smart hybrid work experiences, intelligent customer experiences, and it's all wrapped around great security, privacy, management, and insights. This is an icon legend kind of showing you what some of the products that I'll be covering. And as I speak to them, if you see the corresponding icon on that page, that means I'm speaking to that particular technology. So, seamless collaboration. This really is all about being able to work with anyone from anywhere and working in sync with the apps you love. I'm going to be speaking in this section covers a lot about the Webex app. The Webex app, formerly Webex Teams, has been rebranded into one app, the one app to rule them all, if you will. And they've put the meetings workload, the Teams workload, the calling workload all up under that one app. And what's really nice is it's modular, means it can work with both on-premises solutions and cloud solutions. And you can pick and choose if you don't need all 3. You can just, if you only need calling, you can just only have calling. If you only need messaging, you could do that as well. And so a lot of enhancements that we'll be speaking to is about this app and how you can live in this app and use it for pretty much all your collaboration needs. So to that end, let's get right down into it. This icon that we see on this page, that is the Webex app icon. And one of the new enhancements is that you can select the landing tab in the app. So when you first launch it, by default before, it always launched into the messaging tab. And now you can actually administratively control where you want to launch, which is important, especially if you're only using certain workloads. They've added the forward and back arrows and navigation history, which is great because it's easy once you start using the app and you've got a bunch of spaces going to lose track of where you're at. And sometimes you'll find something and then you'll go to another space and you need to hit back to try to find it again. Whereas before you didn't have that option, and this certainly makes it easier. So another great enhancement there. You can now have emojis on the Windows version of the app. If you type in : it's going to bring up a bunch of emojis that you can do. So just kind of an app for or an enhancement for the Windows app. I'm sure something like that's going to come to the Mac app as well. This is nice in that before, when you had meetings and you recorded those meetings, you would have to log into the Webex portal to access them. Now you can access them right from within the app, from either the space, if you had a space meeting, or from the calendar tab. So you'll be able to see all your recordings and send them out and listen to them right from the Webex app, which is super nice. Pinning messages, feature that's definitely been needed, and that's where you can actually pin a message in a space and make it stay there so that everyone can see it when they first go to that space. You can now mark messages as unread, which is good for follow-up later. You can also flag them for follow-up. Space linking, you can, this is a nice needed feature as well, so that you can basically paste a link for spaces and other spaces that people can join. Slideso integration. Slideso is a tool that it's a best-in-class audience engagement platform. So you could already have polls within Webex, but now you can have Q&As, quizzes, word cloud, brings extra analytics. So it gives you extra tools within your meetings. Real-time language translation. This is important because not everyone speaks English, right? And so users can select real-time translations for 109 languages. Immersive Share. So this is neat if you have one of these devices. It's working on the Desk Pro already. I'm actually on a Desk Pro right now, and you can basically have your video hover in front of your presentation. In meeting, you can now customize stage views. You can easily drag and drop who and what you want on the stage. You can also limit attendees' view to stage only, which is definitely a nice feature. And users have more tools in their meetings. In-meeting Q&A is now a standard feature, and you've got a slider that allows you to zoom in on content, which is really nice. The InApp Scheduler. Again, this is something where before you had to have, pardon me, just get my cursor out of the way. You had to schedule through the portal, through the actual Webex portal, or have like productivity tools installed through Outlook, or if you don't use Outlook, Google plugin, for example, or maybe hybrid calendar. But this just gives you another place where you can go and schedule your meetings, and it's nice because it being within that Webex app, it's just quick and easy. They've enhanced the Webex Events now, and you get the same rich features that you get in meetings, such as modern scheduling, the Webex Assistant. You can optimize sharing for motion and video, has music mode and reactions. So huge update coming to Webex Events very soon. Looking forward to that. You can seamlessly escalate a call within the app. Let's say you're talking to somebody, you can now escalate it to a full-blown Webex meeting and invite other participants. Now the app is supported on Chromebook, which is nice. This is for specific to Webex calling, which Webex calling is the cloud phone calling, if you will, cloud calling service. And it now has a video auto attendant and music on hold options. So very nice. Integration with Box. You can now collaborate on your Box files from within the Webex app and mobile devices. And you can also, within the Box portal itself, share files to spaces and launch meetings, etc. So very nice enhancements there. Salesforce integration. A lot of companies use Salesforce, and it's nice to have your collaboration tools all within the Salesforce portal. You can schedule meetings, click to call, all of those functionalities. It basically gives you your collaboration tools that you need right within Salesforce. Miro, you can collaborate seamlessly with Miro. Miro's a cloud-based whiteboarding tool, if you will, a collaborative tool, and now you can bring that tool into your spaces. Same thing for Mural. Mural's another one that's a collaborative cloud tool. You can have Kanban boards and things like that, and now you can bring it all into a space. So a lot of integration capabilities. A workday bot. Bots are really important when it comes to Webex because bots just make you more productive. They help in so many ways. You can basically have bots do all sorts of things, but the workday bot's nice because you can quickly view time off balances and request PTO, things like that, all through the bot. So again, another great way to integrate or use integrations to help the platform be even more powerful. The Webex App Hub has been redesigned to make it easier to find Webex integrations with third-party services. So again, if you're not currently using bots within your Webex environment, we highly recommend it. This is great because it allows the host to schedule meetings with multiple language channels. So if you are having a multinational call, if you will, and you want to make sure that folks have the ability to understand what you're saying, then participants can select a specific language channel for live translation so that they can participate. It's really, really nice integration. All right, so that covered that first tier, if you will, seamless collaboration. Now we're going to start talking about smart hybrid work experiences. This is enhancements to the devices. And again, it's all about going from seamless collaboration, from working from home and going into the office and having a frictionless transition. So enhancements, the more grids, the better, right? Next thing you know, it'll be 25 by 25. Obviously, at some point, the video pictures get too small to see, but 5 by 5 grid view is nice, especially on the device you see there. Again, that's the Webex Desk Pro, which is excellent personal device or huddle room device. And the larger grid views are more important than ever with people working, from anywhere and everywhere these days. They've also improved the layouts options for the larger room systems that you see here. This is a dual screen MX 700, for example. And the screen on the left, by the way, is the active speaker, and then it grids everyone else over on the screen on the right, and then the active speaker will change depending upon who's speaking. But it just gives you better visibility, being able to see everybody all on those two screens. So, and all of this is customizable on the devices too, which is nice. Cisco Proximity. So before, if you had devices that were cloud registered in your environment, and you had devices that were still on premises registered to Call Manager, for example, Proximity works differently. You couldn't use Proximity through the Webex app for the on-premises devices. You could for the cloud ones, but you'd have to have a different application for the on-premises. So this is really nice, and it's been needed for a while. This now allows you to wirelessly share and connect to two devices, whether it's on-premises or in the cloud. Host controls for raising your hand. So this just gives you more power as a host to put those hands back down as you see them raised if you don't need them anymore. And now, of course, with certain devices, you can raise your hand and it will recognize that gesture and raise it for you. So depending upon the device, it allows you to communicate more intuitively. Shape recognition and whiteboards. That way, if you're got very bad handwriting like me or very bad drawing skills, it kind of helps you out there. Network quality indicator from devices. You want to know, if it's your network that's having a problem, so it gives you that visibility now. Firmware upgrades for the MPP phones. So MPP is multi-platform phones. These are the Cisco phones that you can take and register to Webex calling in the cloud or any other third-party cloud service. And these firmware enhancements allow for enterprise migration enhancements, support for new languages, Webex media path optimization with Webex calling. It's just making the firmware better and more in line with what you might be used to if you have used these phones registered to a call manager in the past. Additional cordless phones available now for Webex calling. So this is nice in that you can have for manufacturing environments, for example, you can actually have phones that don't have to be tethered to the network. You can walk around and still use the Webex calling cloud service with these new phones. The Webex Assistant now supports switching between English and Spanish and French, so that's a good enhancement. You can easily access People Insights now. People Insights is now on by default. just for those of you who may not know, People Insights is a thing that you can set up. If you have a Webex Meetings account, you can log into people.webex.com, and it's provided your organization has enabled it org-wide, then you can put in your profile, and your profile is going to have information like, your work history and some job history information, if you will. Inside for external viewers. For internal viewers, they can actually see your direct reports and who you report to and things like that. So the reason why People Insights is important is it gives you extra context of who you're meeting and what their roles are. And to that end, there's now personal insights that you can access through the Webex app, which is really neat in that it can tell you analytics like how often you join meetings on time, how often your meetings run over, things like that really help you better understand how you work and what you can change, for example. Noise removal is now on by default through the Webex app. So Cisco purchased Babel Labs, and they are experts at noise removal, and now that's automatically enabled for when you join meetings, and it works really, really remarkably well. All right, that covers our smart hybrid work experiences. Now we're going to get into intelligent customer experiences. It's all about that digital first engagement. And so a lot of new highlights is coming from Cisco in these regards. And really, it's all about the new Webex Contact Center platform. And Webex Contact Center, if you don't know, is the all new cloud contact center offering from Cisco. It's omni-channel, out of the box. That means you can have your set up a contact center so that your customers can reach you via calling, via email, and chat right from day one. And then you can add extra things like SMS and social media. And that's you'll see there that Cisco and IMI Mobile have a partnership, and that's a big component of those enhanced features coming to the Webex Contact Center platform. So Webex Contact Center is something that is a just robust, wonderful solution. It gets you out of the business of having so many call center applications on premises that you have to maintain and manage, whether you are traditionally a contact center express shop or contact center enterprise. Putting the footprint of those, the hardware footprint and the compute footprint that those items takes is pretty heavy, let's put it that way. And so a lot of overhead. And so having all of those things moved to the cloud, a lot of people are realizing the advantages of that. And so Cisco has really worked hard on their platform over the last couple of years. Byteworks, we are authorized and specialized partners of Webex Contact Center. We've had to go through a lot of training and pass a lot of technical hurdles in order to be able to do that. And we're quite proud of it. And the fact that the platform is very, very powerful. And we've been signing a lot of customers up for it because it's a great product, great solution. So to that end, speaking of Webex Contact Center, there's a new big data stream processing platform, and it increases the throughput, and it's a highly available platform, and it makes reports pop up and analytics pop up a lot quicker, and it allows you to proactively respond to incidents better. Many cases before anyone even notices there's an issue. So very nice enhancement there. Flow chaining. One of the great things about the Webex Contact Center is that it's a graphical interface that is intuitive. And so configuring workloads and configuring queues, configuring skills-based routing, configuring call decision trees, all of those things become a lot easier. And so there's been a lot of enhancements in that area, and what's called flow chaining, and adjusting how you can set up predefined flows. So again, all good enhancements coming to that platform. Here's another example, call prioritization, you can reassign priority to the contacts in a queue so that when a single agent serves multiple queues, calls with the highest priority across all of the queues gets picked. So again, just more great enhancements to the Webex Contact Center platform. Lastly, we're going to talk about the security pillar, if you will, and not just only security, but management, administrative management, privacy, insights, analytics, and that statement up under that sentence there, built in, not bolted on, is very important because Cisco is very proud of their security around the Webex product. And if you look at the security of some of the competitors, such as Zoom and others, and even Microsoft Teams, they just cannot compare with the security that is Cisco's built for their product, and it's built in, not bolted on. What that means is that they started with security, and it's the foundation of the entire product. They didn't think about security as an afterthought after their data ends up on Chinese servers or something like that. Or that's a little small jab there, but the point is that Cisco is serious about security, and it's obvious through their enhancements. Wow, I struggled with that one. Anyways, let's talk about some exciting things coming in regards to that area. Wow, struggling through there. Sorry about that. So, getting started in Control Hub. This is a feature that helps you as an admin when you first log in. It tells you what's best practice setup guidance, if you will. So it can take you step by step so that you can navigate through common setup tasks in a sequential way. Organizational health in Control Hub. I really like this because right when you log in, you'll see what your organization score is. And then when you go there and look at it, it actually gives you tips for making it better and things that you can set up in step-by-step instructions as well. So it helps administrators adopt best practice setup and almost gamifies it, if you will, your organization's experience so that you can make the experience better for your users. Okay, helps admins compare their deployment with health with best practice. Helps admins pinpoint experience and adoption challenges, and it helps grow end user and administrator sentiment positively. Proactive notification. This allows you as an administrator to alert for things like maybe you want to set up alerts for the executive conference room devices so that if anything at all is out of the ordinary, beforehand, things like that. So extra alerting items. There's also a new training alert which inspects all meetings quality at the end of each day and alerts you when network performance is trending down and things like that. So great tools to help you as an administrator have a better experience for your end users. You can now have policies for groups. So it allows you to manage settings and capabilities for users in bulk, which is nice. Simplifies provisioning. There's now single compliance in DLP, which is data loss prevention solution for Webex meetings and messaging. This is really huge when it comes to compliance. That's a big area that a lot of companies struggle with, but Cisco's done a wonderful job with end-to-end encryption at rest, and internal and external security. Whether you're talking to people within your company or out. So there's great enhancements to retention policy. It's got legal hold support for meeting content, e-discovery support, events API support for meetings, extended security pack with Cloud Lock, which is another Cisco solution that helps protect cloud assets, if you will. So great stuff there. Zero Trust security for Webex is available now. End-to-end encryption. This is if you really, really want to turn on the security for Webex, you now have that capability. Zero Trust, for those of you who don't know, means that you don't trust and verify everything. So it's just the very stringent security settings. And then API drives new skills for compliance officers. Again, this is all about being able to ensure that you can control what's happening in your Webex app environment. And you can control bots, for example, and make sure that if you decide that a bot is not healthy for your environment, you can have it removed all from all spaces. You can also, compliance officers can easily inspect deleted files and set up policies to look for specific situations. So it's a very great and robust tools for compliance for your Webex environment, messaging environment, and to protect your IP, your intellectual property. Enhanced Webex calling analytics. So used to be when the platform was still being built and refined, if you will, it would take forever for the pages to load. Now it's much faster loading and updating of analytics. You can view top level insights on adoption. You can see what your Webex calling usage and what the call quality is doing and trending. And then you can drill down into site level specifics to understand what's going on in your environment. And you can also ensure users having a great Webex calling experience across sites and endpoint types. So just really good analytics to let you know what's going on in your calling environment. This is a big thing right here, call traffic analysis for UCM customers within Control Hub. So we all know Control Hub is the cloud portal that you manage your Webex cloud services through. So you manage Webex meetings and Webex Teams, for example, and Webex calling, which is the cloud. But now you can also manage your on-premises environment and get extra insight into your on-premises environment through the Webex Control Hub. It's called Cloud Connected UC, CCUC. And basically it allows you to add your on-premises environment to the Control Hub. And once it's connected, you can get extra analytics from your environment and in even some changes that you can do from the cloud. So very nice. I've got a couple more slides in here that talks more about that. So since I'm just mentioned Unified Communications Manager, the next few slides are focusing more on, I keep wanting to say call manager because that's what we used to always call it. So I'm going to say call manager, just know I mean Unified Communications Manager. And Unity Connection, IMA Presence, so on and so forth. But overall, it's important to understand what the Cisco is doing with their on-premises products. The idea is is to make sure that they design it that meets all of the demands for on-premises, but also the cloud and offers feature parity. Overall, their themes are to make sure that they're simplifying UC administration, enhancing security and compliance, of course, delivering the best user experiences, and building those bridges from on-premises environments to the cloud. All right, so just important to talk about that. Call manager timeline release. Okay, so if you haven't already, many people have upgraded to 12. And 12, what's important to understand about the 12.x release of Call Manager, I'm saying Call Manager, but I'm referring to all the UC apps, is that Cisco used to do .0 and .5 releases. They're no longer doing that. 12 is the last time that's ever happening. From 14 on, it's going to be 14 and then SU1, SU2, 15, SU1, SU2, so on and so forth. So this slide speaks to that and shows you what that timeline looks like. Increased cluster scale. This is one of the enhancements with 14. I've got a couple other ones I'm going to speak to in here, but basically you get 25% increase in cluster scale, and that helps reduce costs, especially for those larger environments. And the solution is extensible in that you can add Webex devices to the environment now and basically start having those hybrid services where some of the workloads may still be on premises, maybe calling is still on premises, but messaging, meetings can be in the cloud. And so it's really about having a platform that can do a little bit of both, right? This is probably my favorite update in regards to 14, and that is the sense that the fact that you no longer have to have like for like upgrades. Okay, so in the past, if you were upgrading, you had to stage it, and you couldn't go direct from 10 to 14, for example, but now you can. So you can basically export your configuration from those versions and import them into 14. So very nice migration and upgrade functionality now. ICE, the original ICE, right? Interactive connectivity establishment. This is an enhancements that allows you to keep your calling local for intra-site calls. And so if you have, site A and site B and users are trying to call each other's phones, it's going to make sure that call is considered a local call and doesn't send the media up to the cloud. And it helps conserve bandwidth and reduce latency. Cisco calling plans expansion. This is related to the Webex calling and in the cloud calling piece, not on premises. And basically, in the past, when you went to the cloud, you could have two ways to have PSTN. You could use your existing local gateway, or you could have gone to one of Cisco's cloud-connected PSTN providers. But now they're actually in the PSTN game too, and you can have it all within one bill. So in the past, you would still have two bills basically. You'd have your bill for your PSTN, whether it was a cloud provider or it was your local service. But now you can actually get PSTN bundled in with your Webex subscription. So very nice. Speaking of cloud-connected PSTN providers, there's now the capability to have multiple providers, and especially for those multinational customers, that's important because you want to make sure that you have a PSTN path that's in a local region for you. So that's now supported. And this is when I was speaking to earlier about how you can add your on-premises environment to the Webex Control Hub without any additional cost. You do have to be a full Webex admin, but once you get that environment added to the Control Hub, it gives you extra benefits for your on-premises environment. And it's going to keep giving you value because it's constantly updated and more enhancements are coming at no additional cost. Webex App call persistency. This allows you to ensure that as you are go between your work environment and outside, for example, it's not going to drop the call. It's going to go between Wi-Fi and LTE and keep the call active for you if you're talking on the Webex app. The Webex Unified Mobile software development kit. This is really cool in that it allows you to bring your calling and your collaboration technology to your whatever app you've developed. Maybe you're a medical office and you have a telehealth app, for example, and you want to add your phone system to that so that when people are using your telehealth app, they can, or the medical doctor app, they can then contact you, and it can become a full-blown telehealth app. So great functionality in the sense that you can write your own mobile app and you can incorporate your collaboration tools within it. High availability with MRA registration failover. This is nice in that MRA, by the way, is mobile and remote access through the Cisco Expressway architecture. Cisco Expressways are basically products that allows you your on-premises environment to communicate outside of your network. And now there's registration failover so that when things are getting updated, your users are not disconnected. And cloud connected UC Jabber to Webex app migration tool. This is really nice because a lot of folks, frankly, are still using Cisco Jabber, and that's fine. But as you migrate to the cloud, and if your company is not, that's not for every company. I'm not trying to advocate that, but for those companies that want to migrate to the cloud, this is a tool through the Control Hub that allows you to know everything you need to do to get your Jabber users migrated to the new Webex app. It's basically step by step and tells you as an administrator what needs to be done and what needs to be set up to get there if that's the direction you're wanting to go in. This is just another slide showing that experience of the cloud connected UC within the Control Hub. This is nice because you can do call issue diagnostics and you can drill down into call failures. You can correlate CDRs and CMRs. You can trigger log collection based on call issues, and it provides diagnostic insights, and it also gives you a visual ladder diagram of the call. So just more tools that you don't get out of the box with on-premises solutions that you can have access to when you connect it to the cloud. So very nice. And this is the service management piece. Again, all about connecting your on-premises environment and the cloud. It even has service management capabilities, so you can enable and disable certain services. And that is it. Whew, a lot to get through. My mouth is a little dry, but thank you all for listening to me and watching this video blog. I hope you've all gotten something out of it. Thank you, and have a great day. Now, well, I should say, before I go, if you need any help with any of these technologies or any of these applications that we spoke about, please reach out to Byteworks. We're here to help you.